Good morning, 6:24. Welcome back to BT. Perfect weather to be out there on the rinks playing a little bit of hockey. Joined by Peter Lewis with the Canadian Scholarship Trust Fund. And Peter, we're talking about hockey versus education. Now, it's not like one or the other, but when we're talking the other and hockey, this is an expensive sport.
It is, and we actually have launched a campaign we call Beyond the Blue Line, and it's really about trying to promote parents to think about this in a very conscious way. A lot of money is being spent on hockey. A lot of parents are putting money into promoting hockey for their kids, and that's an important thing. But we want parents to think about what they're doing in terms of setting their kids up for long-term success. Right,
because we're not just talking about gear, we're talking about traveling to different tournaments. There are a lot of associated costs, and when you look at the stats, some parents spending as much as $10,000 a year for their kids to play. Some people taking out loans.
That's right.
For this.
We did a survey, and what we found is that over 60% of parents are either borrowing money or in fact putting off their own retirement savings in order to fund extracurricular activities for their kids. And as you say, $1,500 per year is the average cost, but it can go up as high as $10,000 per year for a child in hockey here in Canada today.
Now, we are seeing tuition rises just increase and increase. So what's the message, though? Because Canadians, hockey is a Canadian sport. We're not saying don't play, but it's not putting your eggs all in one basket, right?
Sure. Listen, we love hockey. We think hockey is an important pastime. We think kids should play hockey because they love it as well. But what we're trying to encourage parents to do is think about what they're doing with their scarce resources and make sure that they're actually setting their kids up for long-term success by saving for post-secondary education for their kids.
What about the parents, though, that are saying, but my son could be the next NHL star, but when you look at the stats, it's what, 0.1% that are actually going to make it into the NHL?
That's right. You know, you shouldn't count on your child being able to make a career out of hockey. Some do. 0.1% of kids that start in hockey in Canada actually play one game in the NHL. But the other thing that's important is sometimes parents think, well, I can help them fund their post-secondary education through a hockey scholarship. Less than 1% of kids in hockey actually get a hockey scholarship. So if you actually want your child to go on to post-secondary education, the best way to set them up for that is by starting a savings plan early.
And now, if you're lucky enough, you can play hockey and put some money away for that post-secondary education. But if you have to choose between the two, you know, how do you say no to an 8-year-old boy or girl who wants to play hockey and say, I need to save for your future? How do you make them understand that?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, the long-term success of your kids is going to come through education. That's something that we know, and it's an important conversation for parents to have. But what we would encourage parents to do is actually find ways to balance both of those things. And we know, as we talk to Canadian families across the country, many families are finding exactly that. They can balance both hockey, perhaps at a less competitive level, finding ways to save money on equipment and so on, but they're finding ways to set aside money on a regular basis for the post-secondary education costs of their kids.
There you have it, pond hockey, always fun. If you want more information, go to beyondtheblueline.ca or visit Beyond the Blue Line on Twitter. Thank you very much, Peter. We'll be right back here on BT.